Welcome to the Movie Overload podcast, covering 100 films throughout the history of cinema, from A Trip to the Moon to Parasite, and many, many things in between, with some exceptions, including but not limited to one Woody Allen. Fuck him.
I just want everyone to know that wasn't me. That was the man in the corner.
Have I proven my
Hunter.
worth?
I really thought that
beautiful.
was you. Like,
Well,
I was shocked. That's a
I
really
know,
good
I just
Hannah
want the
impression,
listeners
Hunter.
to be
I was
sure.
saying it and I thought it was you.
You're so exciting. I feel like a disgrace now doing the intros. I think
Sorry,
I've been
I
replaced.
just got a chance to go off a little bit.
I'm really proud.
Yeah.
It
Is
was-
that the first time you said something on this podcast?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm
Wow,
so
good
proud
job.
of you.
13 episodes in and now I speak.
No, you start.
He speaks.
He speaks.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
In a way, it's weird that it's only 13 episodes.
I know.
Because it. Oh, by the way, I'm Reese, but
Oh, I'm
you know.
Hannah.
I'm hung.
but like we've been doing this for like 80 years. Is what
That's
it
what it
feels like.
feels like,
you
for
know?
sure.
Long days.
But but it's funny because it's actually been more like a month and a half. I mean, if we were banking them, it would be a month and a half. But it's probably
We
more
don't
like
view that
13 weeks. You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, it's been forever, and I'm tired. I want to sleep.
Me too.
Wait,
I don't
let's
like
go.
being
We all do.
chained to the podcasting table
He really is.
all
Like,
week
stop
long
fighting it,
until we get a chance to record.
Reese. Let's
I'm
go
hungry.
around the room. How many hours
What?
of sleep did you get?
Can't be.
Well, okay, I had 2 hours of sleep, but then I went back to sleep later.
Okay.
I went to bed at 2, and then I had to wake up at 4 to take my grandpa to the airport.
Yucky.
Then when I got back at like 5:40, I went back to bed. So
Okay. So it's okay.
I had some sleep, but
Okay.
it does still feel like 2 hours.
I get that.
Yeah.
Hunter, how many hours of sleep did you get?
About 5.
Okay. I'm also probably running on about 5.
Okay,
So
that's
5
fair.
or 6.
Yeah.
So go us.
We are at the very least 3 hours beneath what we should have.
Yes.
So that's nice.
And we're feeling it. And we're looking like it
Oh,
a little bit.
that's why we do
Yeah.
it in an audio format, so
Yeah.
you only can hear our like hoarse and raspy voices instead of also seeing our disheveled and disgusting faces. With the notable exception of Hunter, who just always is just like so milky smooth.
This is true.
Not
He-
the description
he
I
really
expected you
is
to say.
I was
Snow
waiting
White,
for the insult.
essentially.
Because I'm so pale. Because I don't go outside.
Your girl's pasty.
I watch
That's what I tell my
movies.
friends.
I'm on a movie podcast. Do you think I go outside?
That's a good point.
You think I go outside, you fools?
Man, the guy at work the other day was like, "Hey, I'm telling you this because I'm your friend. You're really pale, and that's you know I've got something to help you with that. It's called the sun. You might want to try, being out in it."
You have no idea.
The kid was like 100% Irish that was saying that to me.
Not okay, sir. Not okay.
And then I was like, you're probably much more pale than I am,
Right.
even. And then he put his arm next to my arm, and he was tan in
No.
comparison to me.
Dang it.
We're all very pale.
Oh.
But it's like we can't tan. We burn.
It's impossible.
Or we just stay white.
I
And
tan
it
a
is
little.
like, you tan a
A
little?
little bit.
That's not fair. I just burn and go back to being ghostly white.
Hello,
No.
everybody, and welcome to the Movie Overload
Anyway.
podcast, the whitest movie podcast, somehow.
True. That kind of took a weird turn. We're real white, but we didn't ask to be this way.
I'm sorry.
Are we talking about a movie today?
No. This is actually our newsletter episode.
Oh.
Yeet.
We provide information on our upcoming projects. We read fan mail, and we whine about the pastiness of our skin. I've actually got another maybe 15 minutes of notes on the pasty white skin
Okay.
stuff.
Cool.
Is that okay with you guys?
Totally.
Okay, let me pull up my
Wasting
notes.
Daylight. Let's get to it.
Ah,
So I don't have melanin.
Oh.
That's That's the crucial
Dope.
bit of information.
I was
Reese
born
is
without it. I don't know where it
albino.
went.
You can see my veins through my skin. And also, I am just a freckle.
What? I am
Oh.
a freckle. Then wouldn't
Mhm.
you, all of you look like a freckle?
I mean, yes and no.
We're all looking
Like
at
I think I
ourselves.
see what you're going for. Now we're all like studying our
Hunter's
skin.
he deeply just he held out his arm, and so he's like analyzing his whole hand and arm.
I can watch the veins on my hand like fill up with blood as I like leave them down, and gravity like pulls down. And
Really?
then I, like,
That's
lift
so
it up a little,
gross.
and they all kind of empty.
Ew.
We can
Well,
cut
I don't
that
know if
part
I'm
out
that
that's
pale.
gross.
I have a freckle on the palm of my hand.
I see.
I don't know how that happens. Like,
You're
that seems like
broken.
something that's very rare, right?
I don't know.
How would you get a freckle on the palm of your hand?
I don't know.
Can someone explain this to me?
No. Hey, wait. I just discovered something.
What?
Did you know that in 1940 there was this movie?
No,
It's-
movies
called-
only started existing in like I think 67,
I mean, you're probably
68.
right. There was
68. Yeah,
there
it was 1 year
some
before the moon landing. That's how I know that. Yeah,
strange
right.
phenomenon that appeared that maybe people saw. I think it was called The Great Dictator.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
that one.
good. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, okay.
I do have some notes on that if you guys are
I
if
know.
you guys are
Dude,
cool.
yeah,
I know
let's
you do.
go.
Yeah, I wrote like I don't know. I was just like thinking about it last night. So
Yeah, it's just random.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just
Here we go.
We're really
just dive
stalling
in
for
real
time
quick.
on this
We
one.
just don't. No, it's because because I'm so scared to get into this report. I'm scared it's going to be really short. That
It's
we're
gonna be okay.
stalling.
That's okay.
Short,
Let's just
but sweet.
So
I
Charlie
appreciate-
Chaplin's iconic first.
Oh,
I do appreciate the segue, Hunter. Thank you.
You know, it was an attempt.
I mean, I killed my own segue, but like,
But you know, any segue
Literally.
on this podcast gives me the
okay.
immediate urge to try to derail it,
right?
even when
Bro.
it's
Me
my
too, I
own.
guess.
The number of times I've interrupted myself on this podcast, where
Yeah.
I'm actually about to get on topic, and then I realize I'm too on topic. Let me get off topic.
Because it's entertaining.
It's shocking.
Indeed.
Gasp.
So what one might say is there was at least one other movie-esque phenomenon that appeared in the year 1940, which was called
Fantasia!
Fantasia.
Sorry, loud.
It's a Walt Disney thing. Hannah knows more about it than I do.
Okay, fine. I got the hint. I'll talk about it.
We can do it.
Gosh.
Damn it,
you can do
Hunter.
it.
Gosh, Hunter, we were having so much fun
have
until
to
you
just-
started.
Son of a
We're 8
bitch.
minutes into this, and we're just now talking about what movie we're actually talking
That
about.
literally was the plan.
I know,
We were
but,
going
like,
to talk like this for 45 minutes
Yeah.
and then say, so Fantasia was a film.
And it was good.
And then we would
And
go sleep.
God said that it was good.
And-
And it was.
And God, I guess Walt Disney saw it and said it was
It was.
his
Good.
baby.
It was.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, shall we?
Please tell,
Let's
talk
tell me
about that.
more.
For this
Yeah.
one,
Okay.
I feel like the abstract and plot summary are all kind of the same thing because this is a bit of an obscure film type. Like, it's not like our other movies, right?
Mhm.
I'm just going to say my spiel and you can judge it later.
Go for it.
It's like an anthology film.
Yeet. Wow, I need to quit saying that. I am the whitest cracker of them all. Anyway, am I allowed to say that?
And you can call yourself a cracker
Okay,
if it's accurate.
I would say yes.
I will second.
Second the motion, the movement.
Mm.
Anyway, Fantasia is Walt Disney's timeless masterpiece. It's a celebration of sight and sound featuring 8 sequences marrying classical music with the most innovative animation of its day, including dancing fairies, fish, flowers, mushrooms, and leaves in the Nutcracker Suite, Mickey Mouse in his iconic role as the Sorcerer's Apprentice, the comic ballet starring hippos, elephants, alligators, ostriches in Dance of the Hours, and so many more. It's conducted by Leopold Stokowski, and it was Disney's 3rd animated film.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What was the second?
That's a great question.
Was
Reese.
it
I'm glad you
Pinocchio?
asked. For some reason, I feel like yes, but I'm going to fact check
Or was it
myself.
the Dumbo thing?
Oh, wait, let's look.
I don't know. There's so many that I feel like are
I know,
kind
I
of
get so
have that
lost.
similar level.
It was Pinocchio.
It was.
So Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia, then Dumbo.
The essential, mostly boring 4.
Yeah. I know. Fantasia, I deeply appreciated it. It was a little long for it being a bunch of like shorts, I think.
That's fair.
But I think it's just, it depends on your mood.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are like really good. I think, it's the kind of thing where it would be totally fine at that length if you were, say, awake enough that it was a vibe that you could just like fall into and be totally engrossed by. Like seeing it in a theater when you're like fully in your theater mode.
Yes.
It would be awesome.
I agree. Yeah. And
but
the big screen.
Watching it on home video when, you haven't actually really slept in a week.
I was going to say, being so tired, I was definitely trying to stay awake at a couple moments.
Yeah.
And there were some really good segments in there, though. Like,
it's beautiful.
That prehistoric one is amazing. The one at the end with that demony boy.
Literally Satan.
Yeah.
Literally
he
Satan.
says the word Satan.
He says the word Satan?
I think he did.
Oh.
The host guy?
Yeah.
I guess I slept through that part.
I think he did.
Precisely.
Some devil demon. Whatever he was cool.
I liked the bit in the intermission with the soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
It's funny.
I remember that from my childhood. I loved that.
I had never seen it before. I'm really disappointed in myself because everyone's always talking about it. Now I realize they were talking about the 2000 version.
Probably.
Because all the theater people I know are like, the Rhapsody in Blue moment. Oh my gosh. They can, I don't know. Yeah, they get really into it. And I still don't understand because I thought it was part of this one and it wasn't.
Oh, man.
So I need to watch that one too.
We should watch that after this. It's so good. It really is stunning.
I remember like a lot of previews from like VHSs and DVDs when I was very small, having like previews and talking about it, Fantasia 2000, and never watching it or the original. So now I've seen it.
I never had a desire either.
Right. I didn't know what it was. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, no, they were just like there. They were sitting there, in my childhood.
Yep.
I know people who are really obsessed with it though. They're like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing, blah, blah, blah. Like, friend of the pod or friend of me, Connor, is like, he adores it.
I mean, it's great. Like, I remember really liking it as a kid. But
the appreciation is there, but I don't think I would want to like come back to it frequently.
The 2000s ones are a lot more fleshed out, tell more narratives.
That's fair.
They're also a lot darker.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. Like, I remember some of them I was scared of as a kid.
Hey man,
in the 2000 version?
Yeah.
I saw dinosaur murder in this one.
Yeah, no, okay, that was probably the best part when it was just like, oh, let's do Land Before Time. Like,
right, basically. Yeah.
A long time before Land Before Time. Like, some things were like, oh, that's ripped straight from... Land Before Time is a rip-off of Fantasia.
Yeah, honestly, there was quite a few things here that I was like, oh, this is just like a weird proto-version of something that would come later.
Like Hercules or something?
Like Hercules. Yeah, Hercules and Land Before Time, I think, were the ones I specifically thought of. It's like, oh, like this just feels like it actually kind of did inform stuff that would come decades later.
Or just like, I don't know, heavy metal imagery.
I guess.
For the last one, I guess.
I don't know. Some of that felt just like typical ghouls and ghosts and
I was just thinking specifically Satan.
The big guy. Yeah.
The big guy.
Big boy.
Big Satan.
Satan or otherwise.
He big monkey.
Rad.
He big Satan.
He big monkey. I really want that to be the tagline, but it will be taken out of context, and I will. I don't. I really want that though. Like
King
Movie
Kong.
Overload podcast on our like YouTube banner, and under it just says "He big monkey."
He big monkey.
We can make it like an Instagram post of just like a big like word art thing.
He big
and
monkey.
it just says "He big monkey."
That'll be on our merch. He big monkey.
We should do "He big monkey."
Oh my gosh,
shirts.
That could
and
be.
a picture of King
that could
Kong.
go so wrong
That would be
so
awesome.
fast, but
If If you join the
I love it.
Patreon at the $20 tier,
Yes.
you get a He Big Monkey shirt.
He Big Monkey. Go listen to the King Kong episode.
It can be
That
a
was
good
it,
time.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was from that one. And
I'm
then
assuming.
there was some other mention of He Big something. Oh, with Gone with the Wind, it was He Big Movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we've brought it back a couple times.
Yeah. And it's important, you know.
It's good stuff.
Every podcast needs at least some inside, you know. I wouldn't even call them jokes because they're just things that we say that make us laugh and probably no one else.
Yeah.
But, you know.
We have a lot of those, actually.
I'm surprised at how many we already have at episode 13.
We were like, we really need to curse out Woody Allen, praise Ryan Gosling.
Fuck Woody Allen.
And say
Ryan
he
Gosling
big monkey.
fucks. Big monkey.
He big monkey. So we're just covering all the essentials.
Yeah. That's kind of at the end of every episode. If we like didn't mention those, we can be like, and just to make sure we got them, fuck Woody Allen, Ryan Gosling fucks, he big monkey.
Yeah.
And see you guys.
And that's all. Have a great
That's
day.
it. Okay, let's.
Yeah.
Are we done here?
Basically.
Yes.
We sleep.
I want to take a nap. So I'm going to talk about this movie.
Oh, okay.
So we can get to
do
those
it.
naps. I'm just going to preface this report by saying I really want to like nerdy rant about Disney. So if that gets boring, you guys just yell at me. And if
That
you
sounds
want more
fun.
facts, then yell at me for those because I tried to get it all, but
We do like yelling at you.
I'm aware.
No, you
So
like
that will
yelling
be
at
fun.
me.
The trauma is real.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 8 sequences. There were a total of 12 directors for all 8.
Dang.
I'm pretty sure each segment had like up to 11 animators,
Okay.
give or take. A lot of people worked on this.
Mhm.
The conductor, Leopold Stokowski, pretty sure he signed an 18-month contract to work on this.
Whoa.
So he helped with
Dang.
the music selection process. He did all the conducting, and obviously he's in the recording, so they had to film all of that. And that's a long time. I'm pretty sure that was, time consuming. So he was very invested in this project as well.
Who was the announcer guy?
Oh, his name was Deems Taylor.
Interesting.
He also helped with some of the music selection as well, actually. They brought him a little later.
Yeah, because he
But
was
yeah.
like a composer or something too, right?
I think he helped compose some of them. But yes, anyway, he also had a big say in the music, and they were just like, ooh, we've seen you do like commentary hosting things. Can you come do this? And he was like, heck yeah, I can.
He was like, I really do want to talk to the soundtrack. Thank you. I would
Yes.
like to know what it looks like when somebody be playing violin, boy.
Right? I'm pretty positive, and yeah, now I'm going to doubt myself. I'm pretty sure Deems Taylor is the one where they really wanted him to be a part of it, and he was so excited about it, he said that he would do it free of charge. Like, he was really on board with it. So
That's cool.
anyway, back to Disney,
He was great.
because I love Walt Disney, and if I could have a conversation with anyone, living or dead, he would definitely be a top pick.
Really?
I think he
Interesting.
is so creative, and it's fine. So
It's
I'm fine.
Anyway,
It's fine. So Disney had put together these cartoons in 1938 called Silly Symphonies.
Oh, yeah.
I saw those come up on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Alongside
And
this.
that inspired the Sorcerer's Apprentice short, which Disney was very set on as the comeback role, quote unquote, for Mickey Mouse, who was like rapidly declining in popularity.
As he should.
Right? And he was...
That greedy mouse.
Disney was
That
like,
son of a bitch.
no, he's our, like, mascot. He can't fade out. Let's make a short for him. So they started making The Sorcerer's Apprentice, which was based on a poem. Most of these sequences are based on poems. Started to do that. And his brother, Roy. What up,
Disney.
Roy Disney was like, hey, I manage the studio's finances and releasing the Sorcerer's Apprentice short. is going to cost way more money than it's going to make us. But Disney was not deterred. He, I think just immediately was like, oh, okay, well, let's just turn it into a feature film. But he wasn't going to say, let's turn Sorcerer's Apprentice into a feature film. He's like, I really want to do a bunch of shorts along with classical music. And it's something he had thought about for years, it said. But he had never felt like he had the opportunity to do it. Sorcerer's Apprentice was already costing them $125,000.
Jeez.
The heck?
Yeah, they were like, we can't release this and make the money back.
Which in today's dollars is like...
A lot,
yeah.
That's, at the very least, I would think, like $6 million.
Yeah, probably because the final budget for Fantasia was $2.28 million, which is equal to $42.3 million today.
Okay.
I like that.
Quite a bit of money.
His response to Roy being like, "Hey, that's kind of a lot. Maybe don't do that." He's like, "Do it more."
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what
Roy's
you mean?
like,
You're asking me to do more of it?
Just 2 hours of this?
Roy's like, Walt, let it go. Yeah, exactly. Let it go, buddy. He's all, huh? Challenge accepted.
He's like, I can do what I want. I'll spend even more money, huh?
Realize my dreams.
Watch me. See, that's why I want to talk to him, because the drive, the ambition, it's all there.
Wanting to create Disney World.
Right?
Make it a weird utopia thing.
True.
And then dying.
A little cultish, but that's fine.
And then having his head frozen under Disneyland or something.
We talked about the cultishness of Disney, right?
I think it would be fun to talk
That's
about.
fair. Now I'm going to doubt myself. I won't want to talk to him. But also...
Well, you still might want to talk to him. You just might not want to join his cult.
Okay, I won't join the cult.
I mean,
know
unless
people
it's really
who
cool.
act like they're in a cult with Disney.
That's, we did talk about that. Was that the Snow White episode?
So. I can't
Who
remember.
knows?
It
doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Everything is a sham. And why am I even here? And
go to sleep, Reese.
Okay, you guys finish up. I'm just gonna.
If you hear snoring, it's Reese.
I'll be back.
And me.
Bye.
Hannah, you can carry this alone.
I can.
Right? Okay,
yes.
Cool.
Okay. More interesting things about the budget before I move on.
Yes.
I really appreciate their growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is one of Disney's quotes, because one of the production supervisors after Disney was like, hey, let's turn it into a full feature film length project. This guy named Ben Sharpstein, the production supervisor for on Fantasia, he was like, hey, this budget is 3 to 4 times greater than the silly symphonies we've made before. I think this is impossible. Disney, quote unquote, saw this trouble in the form of an opportunity. This was the birth of a new concept, a group of separate numbers, regardless of their running time, put together in a single presentation. It turned out to be a concert, something novel and of high quality. He called it experimental all the time. He knew it was like kind of a risk.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you do see that like at the beginning when the guy's introducing it, when Deems is introducing
Deems Taylor, yeah.
He's like, this is a new genre, new take on film, but like I can't think of any other example of this thing other than Fantasia and Fantasia 2000.
Yeah, just like, because like you can think of like musicals kind of, and it's also like kind of a concert, but it's like he says it's like it's almost trying to just depict like what you might imagine and put to the music in your head while listening to live music.
Yeah,
like that bit when you eat the food in Ratatouille. That little visualizer with the music.
But 2 hours of that.
So it's
and
there isn't
really
anything else like that, you know?
Yeah.
I know.
Like
that's totally how their process was too.
Pink Floyd's The Wall is semi-close, but it's also actually trying to tell a specific story.
Right, it's still closer to like a
more
play
just an
or a
animated
musical.
movie.
Yeah, or just a movie, But that actually has kind of some similarities. It's got some weird animation in it. It's fun.
It does. It's a good time.
It is fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it actually says their silly symphonies went back as early as 1928.
Whoa.
Dang.
But Disney wanted to go beyond the usual slapstick and produce shorts where, quote, where sheer fantasy unfolds, action controlled by a musical pattern has a great charm in the realm of unreality. Their whole process was just them, the conductor, this Deems guy later on, and I think a few of the other directors actually, would sit down, listen to all their song options, and just like talk about or write down what came to their heads. I'm actually pretty sure it was Deems Taylor whose first idea was the dinosaurs, because he helped with some of the song selections, and he was like, oh, what if we did something kind of prehistoric with animals? And they were like, yes.
Oh, sir.
Dinos.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Let's do dinos.
Are you
And it
talking
worked
about
out.
And they did.
Yeah. See, this is
So-
the kind of thing that I would think that they would be like, let's put on some records, let's get real high, and let's just like scribble
probably
what we
did.
see, you know?
Yay.
Do you think was there any drug usage involved?
I don't think so, but I kind of like want to think so, because that would be funny.
At least sherry, right? Like they're probably like drinking a bit, you know?
Probably.
Why would they drink sherry? Why was that what I went to?
I don't know, but now it's what they had.
For some reason in
So
my
it's
mind, like
historically
that's just what
accurate.
Walt Disney drinks.
Yes.
It's like, would
That's
you
just
like
what
a
he
glass
drinks.
of sherry? And everybody's like, ew, what the fuck, Walt Disney? And he's
What the
like,
fuck?
I'm Walt Disney. I drink sherry. Fuck you.
Yes.
And that's when he kicked Roy Disney out the window. Jojo Rabbit style.
Jojo Rabbit style.
Hannah still has not
Fuck
seen
you,
Jojo
Roy.
Rabbit.
I've seen the beginning of Jojo Rabbit.
Don't spoil Jojo Rabbit.
I
for
left
Hannah.
because it was an uncomfortable social situation, so I did
Oh.
not finish the movie.
It's also an uncomfortable. Yeah, I saw it in an uncomfortable social situation as well.
Twins.
It was just,
Except you stuck it out.
yeah. Well, I came in for the ending. The first time I watched it, it was me and an old guy in a theater, and I was like a row in front of him, and then I started crying, and then I felt awkward about it because he was just like right there.
You're like, can you go
Oh,
away,
no.
please?
Can
Give me
you
a
send
moment.
a few rows back, please.
Come on.
I'm having a moment here with the David Bowie soundtrack.
I'm going to need some time
It is sad.
in
Oh,
privacy.
man.
Good.
I want to talk about David Bowie on this podcast.
Do we?
No.
Gosh.
Did we not
No.
get anything with him?
I don't think he's in anything. Like, we
No.
got to talk about him a little bit with Metropolis.
No.
But there's nothing else.
We can make
No.
tangents about him related to other things.
As we
Yeah.
do.
Because, like, he's in a lot of things that are kind of tangentially related to things we are talking about. Like
That's fair.
Dark Crystal. One might even say Inception.
That's fair.
Because of directorial.
And then,
connections.
yeah, so I'll try to find ways to shove David Bowie in then.
Yes.
But I'll also mention solo because I guess that's
Yes.
something I've got to do now.
Yep. Does
So-
not feature David Bowie, tragically.
Wow. Wouldn't that be amazing
Yeah.
if David Bowie was in solo
That would.
and he replaced all of the actors?
Yes. I would watch that, actually.
Oh man, who wouldn't?
Good times.
People who hate David Bowie, I guess.
Mm. Anyway. Hey, Reese.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of A Color Box by Len Lai from 1935?
No,
Um,
what's that?
It's one of Disney's biggest inspirations for animating Fantasia.
Oh,
It's abstract animation, apparently. So
interesting.
he'd been thinking about it, and he says that the first sequence was no sudden idea. It was something they had nursed along for several years, but never had a chance to try. And I was just like, go you, dude.
He got influence.
He did.
He got making the thing, and he make movie.
He made big movie. And maybe some drugs. But I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, did he though?
No.
Oh.
I didn't
Did you
read
say-
anything about that.
What was it called?
Do you think Walt would
What?
do that?
The abstract something?
A Color Box by Len Lai from 1935.
Interesting. I feel like I saw something that I feel like is kind of similar in concept to that. That's just like a bunch of kind of abstract color images.
Hmm.
But I am having trouble finding this one.
I really like the idea of it because I love writing, but I'm really bad at just coming up with a story
Mm.
on my own, like just pulling those thoughts together. But if I listen to certain music,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely visualize things like that. Like the 2 or 3 little scripts I do have are just set to music.
Sure.
And it's like how it made me feel played out with the song. So reading about Disney doing that almost same process, I was like, oh, and he did it, but with animation, which was still pretty new. Like, not new, but I mean, as far as films, I guess.
Right.
Doing
I mean, if it's
this
their
much
third
of it.
feature-length film.
Right.
It's also weird that, like, their third feature-length film was, like, kind of made on a whim.
I know. It said over 1,000 artists and technicians were used in the making of it. So a ton of people over, like, 1.5 to 2 years were involved in this.
And it's also, like, I mean, it's also a weird blend of live action and animation, I guess.
It is, yeah.
Those opening bits, like, just something about the way that those are shot is really cool.
They talk about
like
the
that,
theater
like,
and
half
stuff.
silhouettes and
the lighting in the theater, and they set it up all different. Where the sound, they really focused on sound, and then there were more than 500 animated characters in the whole thing, and the colors are beautiful. So it's just
it's definitely
nice.
impressive on a technical scale, and when you're awake, it's impressive in an emotional scale.
Yes. I would agree with that.
The colors all looked very natural, too. Like, it didn't look kind of saturated. Like, well, I guess, like, A Star Is Born looked that way, but that was older. I guess Wizard of Oz had looked pretty good. I don't know. The color looked good at this point. That's all I have.
It says the segments were color keyed scene by scene, so the colors in a single shot would harmonize between preceding and following ones. And then before a segment's narrative pattern was complete, an overall color scheme was designed to the general mood of the music and pattern to correspond with the development of the subject matter.
Interesting.
So they were very particular about the colors. And then even for the live action clips they had, they used 3-strip Technicolor processes, while the animated segments were shot in yellow, cyan, and magenta exposed frames. And then they spliced them together so that they would all flow within, I don't know, between animated and live action.
That's really cool.
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy that, like, it's just, I guess, the extra Disney flair, you know, of we are going to do all these shorts. We're going to have them, you know, be introduced in the most 40s way possible. But also we're going to make sure that, like, the live action bits that we're filming flow into the animation nicely and are also just in and of themselves really pretty and cool. Like, every aspect of it, they put specific thought and effort into it. Because I could very easily see it just being like, you know, just the large, you know, wide shot footage of just like the orchestra tuning up, and then the guy like walks up and he's like, tap, 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 and then it starts, you know.
This be some cartoons and also a mouse.
There's a mouse, magic boy with broom.
Magic
and
boy.
Music for you. And then he starts. But they did it.
I feel that.
Because Walt Disney this is going to be so impossible to listen to because my brain is so, like, short-circuited.
You look so tired.
I think I'm asleep right now.
Just wait until we don't bank one more episode about a very important movie.
I'm very nervous about that.
I'll have caffeine for that one.
There you go.
Don't even...
Maybe a nap.
Don't even worry about it.
We could go... Wait, no.
Yeah?
No, we actually have to record.
I was going to be like, we could go get drinks at the soda shop. And then I realized that's probably only a good idea to me. If you want caffeine.
Caffeine.
Depends.
I don't care. I thought they were closed on Mondays.
No, just on Sundays.
Oh, man. I mean, not that it's a Monday that we're recording this on, because we record this on the day that you listen to it.
Yeah.
We record these every Wednesday.
The day that you... Even if it's been out for a week.
Yes.
It's the day that you listen to it.
Yes.
We don't even record.
We have to re-record every episode.
We wait
every day.
We wait till you press the play button, and then we start talking. So it's live every time.
We'd never edit our podcasts.
Never.
Coming to you live.
Ever.
We should just start saying that, you know, just so people know.
Yeah. Coming to you live, the Movie Overload podcast.
Because it's really an impressive technology that we're doing here, you know. Like, we're constantly sitting here just waiting for somebody to press play.
This is true.
And it gets complicated when somebody else presses play, like, halfway through an episode.
I know.
then it's
such
like,
a bummer.
wait, do we continue? Do we start over?
I don't know.
You know,
Just feel it in the moment.
we still need to work that part out. Maybe we can
Probably.
get someone, like maybe we can hire extra people on if we get a Patreon to play us for when somebody else presses play.
We're so sleep deprived.
This makes sense,
I
right?
feel
This
it.
is
We're gonna have to trim some of this anyway.
again. This is very
Anyway.
evergreen content. Once again,
Yeah.
us talking about how tired we
This
are.
is good. This
Right.
is good.
Notes about Fantasia.
Let's talk about Fantasound.
Fantasound.
Fantasia, Fantasound.
What?
Let's talk about that,
What that mean?
shall we? Fantasound is the sound system they use to record it. It was pretty new, but Disney was like, hey, we're experimenting with all this animation with classical music stuff. And he really wanted to experiment with more sophisticated sound recording and reproduction techniques. So he didn't want to do like one speaker behind the screen because he said it sounded too tinkly and strained. He wanted to reproduce beautiful masterpieces so that audiences would feel as though they were standing at the podium with Stokowski.
So like he was trying to get theaters tricked out with better speaker systems.
I think it's just how they
Just the recording.
recorded the sound in the first place with the
Okay.
orchestra.
Gotcha.
So, yes, I think they ended up, they ended up using 33 mics
Okay.
around the whole thing. All I know is that there were just the use of like multiple audio channels and
Right.
that they just got to mess with the dynamic balance of all the playback.
Mhm.
I don't really understand sound production, so
Okay.
reading it, I'm like, I
Right.
hope this is making sense.
That does make sense.
Okay.
As a former music production major.
That's what I figured you would be on top of it.
33 mics would be like, okay, like that's not. I don't think that's a ridiculous amount now for like that
No.
size of an orchestra.
I think it's just more than they had done ever before. Like,
Gotcha.
they just wanted high quality sound.
And
they
for that
also,
matter, it really is in comparison to a lot of stuff from this era.
Yeah, it sounds great. I didn't even question it. And then I
Mhm.
went back and re-listened to parts of it after reading that.
And it's
It
like,
sounds
oh,
good to me.
yeah.
Oh,
oh,
hello there.
Yeah, I have a nice, somewhat like my TV sucks, but I have nice speakers.
Mm.
And yeah, usually I watch old movies, so the speakers
Right.
don't get to do anything fun, but it sounded really good, and I figured that it was just like maybe they'd re-recorded stuff, or maybe they'd definitely heavily remastered it or something like that when they
They
stuck it
might
on
have.
Plus, but maybe not.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I guess, yeah, there's definitely a chance that they might have come back and touched it up. But it said they even altered the stage. So that cool set that they're on, they altered it acoustically with double plywood semicircular partitions that separated the orchestra into 5 sections to increase reverberation, and that it just worked so well and sounded so good. They went back because they already had done most of the work for Sorcerer's Apprentice, that segment. They re-recorded it because it
Gotcha.
sounded so good.
Right.
So
they were actually recording on that set. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't just like for the sake of filming. Like
No,
that's actually what it looked
that's
like.
the set where they,
That's so cool.
I know. I think that's why it just looks so interesting too.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they built that for the Fantasound deal. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
but then
so
they just
cool.
like the weird touch of that guy like knocking over his like cymbals or whatever, and just like,
True.
and it like cuts to a different camera, and it was like, are they just like
Faking it?
multi-camera recording like everything going on here, or? I mean,
I
I
don't
figured that
know.
was just a gag that they added in, so I guess
Maybe.
it probably is.
I guess, I don't know. As a sound person, would it not make sense to record where they film?
Well, I just assumed that they hadn't, because the ways that they were set up was like against these like weird screens and all this other stuff, and I
Yeah.
would have figured that they would have just like recorded in a normal like theater or something. But
Right.
I mean,
I
it
don't
sounds
know.
like they customized it a bunch, so it's possible they also gave it some fancy visuals. But I mean, also generally what happens is like, at least with film scoring, the orchestra is playing in response to the thing that they see on the screen.
Right.
But I guess that's probably not how it worked here. Like they record the music
It
first.
was all about the sound first. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Music was like
intended
the
to, yeah.
foundation. All the animation came later.
In which case, maybe you wouldn't maybe the lighting wouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? Like you'd want
Yeah.
to be able to easier see
True.
your music, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should look more into that because they just kept referring it to as the stage for the orchestra. And that was like tied in with the recording process. So I assumed that was the stage I was looking at, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
It could be that they filmed those bits and then it's the right stage or whatever, but then they had people come in and do all this fancy camera lighting for, the live action scenes, and then, they switched up the lighting a bit for when they were recording. I don't know things.
It's
Don't
all
ask.
wow. Sleep depravation and me doubting myself is really biting me in the
It's a good
ass.
combination. Everything's fine. This is a very professional podcast we're running.
I'm sorry.
We're 100% there.
I really wanted.
Paying attention. We're doing a great job, and you're having a great time. And give us a 5-star rating, please.
Wow,
Please
I should.
don't leave us.
I'm sorry, my report sucks.
What?
Did you
Sorry.
What?
have more? Or
I think I just don't understand the sound stuff. But I
mean,
did
some
just
stuff
find
is
a note.
complicated.
I found a note.
Okay.
They wanted to create a new system that would create the illusion that the actual symphony orchestra is playing in the theater. But they backed out at first due to financial reasons. And then they got this company to make the equipment in 1939.
Whoa.
But it was $200,000 in costs, which was $3.7 million in 2019.
Dang.
So,
I see.
again, it's still kind of confusing, though. I'm like, what do you mean the actual symphony orchestra is playing in the theater?
Like, just to make it sound like it's as close to the live experience as possible, I guess.
Right. So
Right.
does that mean, though, that they recorded it in the stage where they were? Like, I'm
Oh.
tying it back to,
I assume
I don't
so.
know. It probably doesn't matter, and I'm just getting
we'll
hung up
never
on it.
know.
We'll never know.
I think it's probably likely, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
The point is, I'm pretty sure because of the acoustics that they talked about. The point is, though, is that Disney was like, this is going to be the best. People are going to show up to see this in a theater, and it's going to sound like they're right there, and it's going to be pretty AF.
And then it was?
And it was.
Did it make money?
It did eventually. When it first released, they said because of the war, it messed up their distribution plans. So it was like this theatrical roadshow. I keep doing quotes with my fingers, which just means that select theaters were playing it.
Right. Okay. So almost like it was an actual theater performance. The orchestra's coming to
Right.
the Sydney Opera House. Just wait for it. It'll happen. But a movie.
But a movie, yeah.
So they almost in a weird way didn't really market it like you would market any other animated film. Like they definitely took pains to make it appear as a different, more experimental project.
Yeah, I think they were very open about that. But it did well. People loved it. Like all the reviews, even when it was just doing the theatrical roadshow, everyone was like, oh my God, this is a masterpiece. We love it. All the critics loved it. So
Cool.
I
That's
know.
cool.
There's again, it was kind of simple research. It was just like, yep, Disney wanted to animate to music, and he did.
So he did.
And there was some
And
sound
it was awesome.
stuff, and that was
Everyone
innovative,
loved it.
and the animation was innovative, and people liked it. I could not find any dirt on this film.
It's Disney though. Like that's
wanted
kind
to.
of the thing about doing research on a Disney film is that it's almost impossible to find dirt because they would try to scrub that out of existence.
True.
You know?
It was just like after Wizard of Oz, my last report.
Right. Like there was so much.
So
dirt.
much stuff to read about, or just interesting, weird little
So much
things I like
tea.
to find.
A
So
movie
much tea.
defined by its dirt.
Well, there's
Right.
usually just like weird or like psychology things I can find about the actors or something. And with this, it's like it was pretty straightforward, a long process, but everyone was excited about it except for Roy. Roy was worried. Poor Roy.
Roy is like such a dipshit.
He doesn't
God.
understand
Honestly.
it.
Like he can just like never be excited, you know, for like anything. He's just always like this buzzkill all the time. Freaking Roy.
Freaking Roy. Damn it, Roy. Damn it, David.
Is that a
Sorry.
do you think Schitt's Creek should be on the 100 movies list?
Absolutely.
I think it
I would be
fits.
very upset if it was not.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, check that out on movieoverloadpod.com. We got a link to our letterboxd list of the 100 films we're planning on covering. And, you know.
Imagine if we did 100 TV shows.
God,
TV
Oh my gosh.
that would kill us.
overload. That would take forever. We shouldn't do that.
Okay, episode 1's The Office. Gotta watch all of that in a week. Episode 2 is The Simpsons.
Oh my gosh. Stop.
I can handle that.
And then Doctor Who. Imagine
God.
trying to cover Doctor Who in one episode.
No. I will not do that.
I've never watched those.
We were just like, so apparently Roy wasn't all that happy about it. I mean,
Freaking
sorry, there's not
Roy.
that much information. Roy just hated it.
Roy was just very worried. He had all the financial responsibilities, so
Yeah.
he was
fair.
like, what the heck? But I
And
did
even
just...
buzzkilled Doctor Who.
Oh,
Piece
yeah.
of shit.
Sorry.
Anyway. No, I mean, I was talking about Roy. I wasn't talking
Yeah,
about
he
you.
did. But also, Fantasia did end up being the 24th highest grossing film of all time
Oh,
in the U.S.
dang. That's
So
it was just like a slow burn to get there?
they like re-released it in 1942.
Mm.
So because of obviously their weird distribution thing, they were like, the war and money and blah,
Still going.
all the stress. And then 1942, so it's like a 1940 film, but mostly released in 1942.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like people
Just
had
like a
seen
wider
it and
release?
critics had watched it. People knew about it. But like the mainstream release was 1942 and it did really well. It made some money.
What did Disney say to Roy? Did he say, take that, bitch? Is that,
I believe
I
he
was right
did.
the whole
That was
time,
actually
you
his
stupid
exact
idiot.
quote.
take that, bitch?
Take that bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look
Fuck
at all
you,
I remember,
Roy.
money.
I feel like I've seen that in a documentary at some
I think
point.
you probably did. It's
Yeah.
one of his popular ones.
Yeah.
It says, the orchestra maintained that as a co-creator of Fantasia, the group was entitled to half of the estimated $120 million in profits from video and laser disc sales.
Laserdisc.
This was
Heck
in the
yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
So, like, by the time we were releasing it on DVD, it was making $120 million.
Jeez.
That's
Someone
crazy.
Someone send us a Fantasia Laserdisc, please.
Yeah, if you want to send us a Fantasia Laserdisc, you can send that to movieoverloadpod@gmail.com.
Yay!
That's how Laserdisc work, right?
Yes.
Cool.
It's just a laser.
Yeah, just send
You-
us the laser.
You can get Walt Disney's Fantasia Laserdisc box set commemorative edition on eBay for roughly $25 right now.
25? I mean, that's not bad at all.
There's another one that's $915. I
Oh.
don't know what the difference is.
How much is a Laserdisc player? Are
That's a
there
great
Laserdisc
question.
players that plug into like HDMI?
I'm sure there's adapters that exist for that.
You sure somebody isn't like just making new swanky ones?
Swanky.
Swank.
Schwank.
No, that's the swank.
The schwankiest.
Here,
Oh
I'm
my
just going to
gosh.
look up Laserdisc.
No, we're fine. It's okay.
We're fine.
The listeners are having a great time, and I definitely did. I definitely didn't edit this at all.
No. No. I have read through my report like twice, and I just remembered I did have a little bit of dirt as far
About
as
Roy?
I wish it was about Roy.
Fuck.
It was about racism.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, the racism.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, and I think
Yes.
my brain was like, "You already talked about that. Don't say it again." But I didn't.
You didn't talk
I
about
did
it.
not talk
I just
about
heard
it.
that there is a racism.
Yes. So in the late 1960s, they were going to reissue it later in this decade. And they kept editing it, right? Okay, wait, let me backtrack. When they were first releasing it in the 1940s, right when they made it, it was like 2 hours long.
Mhm.
And they were all, "Yo, Disney, we're not going to play your 2-hour movie. This is insane. Cut it down." And Disney fought it so hard. He went along with all of the different, needs to go play it in a movie theater, except for this. And then at the very end, they were like, "We really need you to cut it down shorter." And so he said, "Fine, but someone else has to do it. I can't do it." Like, he couldn't bring himself to edit it down. They edited it down twice, once to like an hour and 40 minutes, and then again to an hour and 20 minutes. Yes.
But we don't have those
That's
cuts
real
anymore,
short.
do we?
No, because now we have the full 2 hours again.
Nice.
Except for in the 60s when they were revisiting it again, 4 shots from the Pastoral Symphony.
Which one is that?
It's the one with like the centaurs
Okay.
and everything. 4 shots were removed that depicted 2 characters in a racially stereotyped manner. A black centaurette called Sunflower was depicted polishing the hooves of a white centaurette.
Oh.
And a second named
Oh, no.
Audica appeared briefly during the procession scenes with Bacchus and his followers. I guess it was aired on TV even, and they left all that in there. But later, one of the editors responsible for the change said, "It's sort of appalling to me that these stereotypes were ever put in." And they were quickly removed. So
Right.
I
Well,
don't
there's
even
also the one
know-
with the mushrooms, which is pretty
right, we
rough.
talked about that earlier.
But also something that I was noticing when I watched it, that like I had a little bit of a rant as I was watching it, was the fact that all the centaurs like end up grouping together with people of the exact same color as them. It feels like some kind of racial segregation.
I
And
see
that
it.
was weird. I was like, "Oh yeah, of course the light blue one goes with the light blue one, and the orange one stays with the orange one." And I was like, that feels gross.
It's just so 1940s though, isn't it? Like, and it says it was designed for children. So
Yeah,
later
that's
on, people
weird.
were like, "We don't need to put in these racial implications for
Right.
a kids
But also
movie."
it's G, and like there do be nipples.
There are
Little bit.
nipples.
So it's I don't
Nudity.
how did
rated
it get
R.
rated G?
I don't know.
How did it
It's
get
Disney.
past how does that get past the code? But like you
The
can't say
code.
like anything. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know.
like they
It's
had
so
to try to
brief.
get the word damn
Right.
into Gone with the Wind.
Yeah,
but you
they
could
make an
also just
exception.
have nipples. Like that's fine.
Yo, what the fuck?
As long as they're on weird harpy demon creatures, I guess.
Yeah.
And Satan.
Right, but the centaurs can't have nipples.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
they
nothing
can
else
they
did.
can be entirely shirtless, but it's fine because we didn't put the one extra dot there. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, this is a random rant.
That's
but
how
like,
it goes.
What?
That's what I've always heard the description, or just like whenever anyone talked about that with anything else, it's always like, no nipples, so it doesn't count.
No nipples. Word.
But then
Unless
they end up
apparently
doing
when
both.
there is.
Yeah.
so.
I don't know.
I don't
and I
know.
also think like there's some weird. I mean, this whole movie just has some weird horny bits like all the way sprinkled throughout it. But like
There
the
are
fact that
lots
like,
of
oh yeah,
things.
we see all of the female centaurs bathing, and then the dudes just like come out of the forest. You know what
That's
I mean?
fair. I
Like,
feel like
it's-
there's elements of that. Like, it kind of just struck me as other Disney movies. I mean, in
Exactly.
Peter Pan,
Exactly.
the mermaids are seen like bathing in the water, and it's all sexy. Like,
It's just the.
I mean,
It's just-
like
Why are animators so horny?
they literally
my
are all like
question.
that.
Yeah.
even like the non-human things. There's lots of like female animals that are just weirdly kind of sultry and like
Right?
batting their eyelashes
Right.
at the camera, like
Uh-huh.
fish.
They needed to
and
make sure that we knew
the
they were
ostrich or
female.
whatever.
Yeah, that weird fish thing.
and the just everything.
Mhm.
They were all like that, and it was just like, chill, guys, it's okay.
Yeah, it's like I know you're. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to
It
make
said-
the
But
fish
it's
like
for
that.
kids. You
It's-
can make it actually G instead of
Right.
just
Whatever's
somehow
happening.
influencing a rating.
It said bits with the mushrooms were influenced by the Three Stooges.
Which I don't understand because there's like more than 3 of
I
them.
know.
Mhm.
And they got the eyes that are not okay.
Mhm.
And they've got these like weird cloaks and they're bowing and they're dancing around in a circle and it feels very
Potentially,
it feels like a racism.
offensive. Yes,
I think that can count as a racism.
Right, like I don't know, like I guess that wasn't seen as a problem and it wasn't removed, so I don't know if that's.
Well,
I don't know if
it is worth
misinterpreting it.
noting that like a significant aspect of our yucky society is that people are really only very careful about racism when it comes to certain races.
It's true.
And then other races, they don't think about them as being racist because apparently there's not a history of racism there or something that we're paying attention to, which there obviously is. You know what I mean?
There really is.
Yeah, like I you know, before
Absolutely.
before World War II, it seems like anti-Semitism was not something that anybody cracked down upon in any
true.
way. You know?
Yeah.
This is bad.
Anyway, it's what?
I just looked up images for the black and white
Uh-huh.
centaurettes. It's
really
real obvious. It's bad. And this just says sociologically, Fantasia clearly communicates gendered expectations for men and women.
Mm.
Also very racially political, as in the color-matched heterosexual pairs.
Mhm.
And then
There
the
you go.
centaur scene, which includes a pickaninny slave to the centaur females and exotic brown-skinned zebra girl servants. And the pictures are, the white centaurettes are tall and beautiful, and they have like white hair, white skin. They look very luxurious. And the black centaurettes are small, and they have like the cornrowed hair
Mm.
or braids. And they're dolling them up.
It's rough.
It just
oh
looks
my word.
it just looks bad. And
Gosh dang it, Walt.
I'm like,
Why?
whoa, bro.
Like, cool it, Roy, but also, come on, Walt.
Now I'm disappointed.
fucking-
Okay. I take back my recent comment. Maybe I don't want to talk to Walt. I love his creative processes, but this is pretty
Go
bad.
back in
Wasn't that a
time, just
good
be like,
time?
well,
Yeah, if
don't do
anybody,
that.
I think it'd be fun to talk to Jean Renoir.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
He gets it.
or Charlie Chaplin.
Or Charlie Chaplin. I would talk to Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, he's fun. Something about
Uh.
talking to Charlie Chaplin would be weird though, because it's like, I would, in a weird way, I'd be like, no, but like, don't talk.
Hmm.
Like,
Don't
you-
talk.
Supposed
No,
to
Charlie, that's not your place.
Charlie, shut up.
Like, you're good at it, but it's not your place.
Yeah. You're made for silent
Be
films, remember?
I feel like I would meet him and he would just like give me that like little smile thing. You know what I mean?
He'd be like, oh, Reese.
But he wouldn't
Reese.
like say, "Oh, how do you do?" You know what I mean?
Right.
He'd just give me that little smile and like kind of a wave, and
But he would know.
he'd be waddling around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a man.
What a penguin.
What a penguin.
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 The penguin.
What a penguin.
So again, if you guys want to contribute to the Patreon, we will get tramp stamps. The
Please.
tramp stamp.
Yes. The tramp stamp. I'm so scared.
That would be pretty great.
Yeah. Sorry, that's all I really had on my report.
There's a lot of
We-
info there.
We're pretty good. We've hit about an hour here.
Yeah.
So.
Go us. Yeah.
It was really deep in a way.
Mhm.
It
You
was
know,
a struggle.
I definitely recommend
Uh,
watching this film, but it's also the kind of film that's a lot harder to actually like talk about.
yes.
You know, it's definitely a nonverbal experience.
Yes.
Mhm.
And again,
So,
I deeply appreciate it.
mhm.
But that
What would
was
you guys
like
rate it?
7 pages of notes.
Dang,
And that's all I had.
that's still pretty good
It's
though.
like, come on, man.
It's all good.
Anyway, what did I rate it? 4 or 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed a few of those segments.
Hmm.
They were pretty and fun.
They were.
But yeah.
I again may have been in the wrong headspace for this. I gave it a 3.5 because I do respect like the animation and stuff. It looks really nice, but like I don't know, just my personal enjoyment wasn't super high this time.
I feel like that's what you say every time.
I know personal enjoyment not super high. Sometimes it is high though.
Like Le Grand Délice?
Yeah, which was great.
Yeah.
Would watch again. Would not watch Fantasia again.
I
Really?
will
Like, I mean, I
try.
would, I guess, but just not anytime soon. Like, it didn't
Sure.
leave me wanting more.
Would you watch 2000?
Yes.
I would watch that
I would try a newer version of Fantasia. I would
Yes.
not watch the same
without
Fantasia.
this
again.
racist slow.
Yeah, well, that was like the thing that got me the most is like the weird racist stuff was like, and the gender roles were like,
Mhm.
it feels like it's trying to be pretty, and the animators are just like maybe unintentionally really shitty, and I don't
Yeah.
like having like the fact that like the way that my subconscious responds to this music is just in a racism. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But their subconscious probably was.
Exactly.
Like-
and that makes it unenjoyable in some
Right.
ways because it's like, it was pretty until you became a shitty human being.
Right.
So
And didn't even know it.
yeah, I still gave it a 4 because there's a lot I like about it, but
I
like
do
also
too.
I also
Yeah.
gave Gone with the Wind a 4, so like you know.
That's fair. When I
For
was
context.
starting Fantasia yesterday, Haven, sister of the pod,
Whoa.
sister of the pod, she was like, no wonder this is 2 hours long. All the orchestra members are taking way too long to get to their damn seats. She's like, this is going to take forever. And I kind of understood.
That's fair.
It was a little slow sometimes.
It's definitely I don't think anybody should go in expecting it to be a movie
No,
in any way.
it just is.
Go into it the same way you go into a concert.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
Classical music orchestra concert.
Yeah.
E.
So that was the time that we had.
Yep.
We definitely have social medias that we do.
At Movie Overload Pod on Instagram and at Movie Overload _ on Twitter.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And give us a 5-star rating. And as we say at the end of every episode of the Movie Overload podcast.
Thanks, Mickey.
Yeah.
Is that a thing that he says when Mickey
He
shows
probably
up that
says,
one time?
like, congratulations.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I don't know if we mentioned that specifically, but I liked that moment of just like the silhouettes of Mickey interacting with Deems.
Was it the Deems or was it the composer?
I
Or
thought it
not
was
the
Deems.
the conductor?
Conductor.
Maybe it was the
Conductor.
conductor.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Leopold.
It was cool. Oh,
But it was
also,
Leopold is a genius, talented human being.
what's he known for?
He was part of the like Philadelphia Orchestra or something, and I think he had done a lot of work in New York. And he was very, very talented and very well known.
That's cool.
He
reminded me of the conductor in the Phantom Tollbooth, which just got added to the Criterion channel. Finally,
I need to watch
I'm
that
so
still.
excited. It's my favorite movie that I only own on VHS.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, I think we're done.
Yep.
We're going to go
Let's get
take
outta
naps and drink coffee at the same time.
That is why does it sound so great?
It actually does. I would.
Okay, bye guys.
bye.
We'll see you next week for
So
Citizen
long.
Kane.
Yay.